Part 71. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 702. News of the sacred beast mountain spread to all directions. The Lin family, Wang family, etc. all knew about this. For a time, the entire divine realm was paying attention to the sacred beast mountain. Opportunities beyond Shinto, once obtained, will undoubtedly completely change history. Since the founding of the underworld, the ceiling of spiritual practice has been the God Emperor. No one has ever been able to break it. In order to pursue a higher road, the God Emperors of the past even had to enter a broken and lost place, almost unable to return. Yun 11, Subakian, as well as Wu Date and Big Black Dog, have already set off from the Delirium Holy Land. The divine domain is vast, and it was 2 days before they appeared on Beast Mountain continent where the sacred Beast Mountain was located. In Beast Mountain continent, since the news of the sacred Beast Mountain came out, major forces from all sides have swarmed here. Today, the terrifying long bridge of grey fog stretches from Yuanyang continent to the sacred Beast Mountain. What a powerful chi machine, it's terrifying. That's the grey mist long bridge of the God Emperor of the Lin family. The God Emperor actually came in person. It seems that there is indeed an incredible opportunity in the sacred Beast Mountain. The world spread the news. Not long after the God Emperor of the Lin family arrived, another long bridge of grey fog crosses the sky. Came from Xuanhuan, the God Emperor of the Wang family, Wang Jiyun. The two divine emperors gathered together. This shocked the entire divine realm. Now in the entire God's domain, there are only two people who clearly know that they have become God emperors. That is Wang Jiyun and Lin Baniang. The Wang family and the Lin family have also divided the entire divine realm. It can be said that whoever wins between these two families determines the future direction and ownership of the divine realm. Now, with two God Emperors visiting the sacred Beast Mountain together, will a God Emperor level war break out? The world is waiting. However, on that day, news had already spread in the sacred Beast Mountain. Jiyun, the divine emperor of the Wang family, had a pleasant conversation with Lin Baniang, and no war broke out. Obviously, at their level, a life and death battle is too cost-effective. The most important thing is to first get an opportunity beyond the divine way. This is the sacred Beast Mountain. Wu Date and others have entered the sacred Beast Mountain and reached the foot of the sacred Beast Peak. In the sky, various rare birds flew by, and there was an endless stream of ferocious beasts all around. This made Wu Date's eyes shine. Braised pork elbow, roasted whole lamb, beggar's chicken, steamed bear paw. As he spoke, many beasts around him were speechless. May I ask some of you, where do you come from? Walking in front of the sacred beast peak, a gold-eating rat god king spoke. Subai said lightly. Desolate Sky Alliance. Hearing this, the god king's expression suddenly changed slightly. The name of the Wild Sky Alliance has spread to all parties during this time. As everyone knows, there has been an internal change in the Holy Land of Delirium. Venerable Haoming wiped out the grey mist cultivators in the sect and established the Wild Sky Alliance, claiming to be the enemy of grey mist. However, the God King still stretched out his hand and said, "Please come in." He led the way and led Wu Date and others to the top of the sacred beast peak. On the top of the peak, there is a magnificent hall in front. On both sides of the main hall, many rare and strange animals were lined up in 2 rows. There are fire phoenix, hydra, yinglong, silver fox, etc., all of them are powerful races from the sacred Beast Mountain. At this moment, they all manifested their prototypes and were waiting respectfully outside the hall. Tisk tisk, there are so many good ingredients. Wu Date couldn't help but feel even happier. The God King who led them was stunned for a moment. Ingredients. What kind of adjective is this? However, he still smiled and said, "These are just slaves of my clan." Choose whatever you like. They are originally mounts prepared for the guests. They will be used when entering the secret place. Hearing this, Wu Dade, Subakian and others were all surprised. Although these animals are definitely not as good as those in small mountain villages, they are still extraordinary in the divine realm. Now he has become a slave and a mount. They didn't say anything and just walked by calmly. And this group of rare animals were also whispering when they saw them passing by. My son, you can't choose these people later. An old Yinglong was giving instructions to a young dragon and said, the grey mist aura on their bodies is too weak, and there will definitely be no extra source to give you. You must remember, either choose the Wang family or the Lin family. On the other side, an old fire phoenix also caressed the head of a young fire phoenix with its wings and said, among the people who came today, the Lin family, the Luo family, and the Wang family can all, but they can't choose the Wild Sky Alliance, you know? That force doesn't have the origin of the grey mist. Little Fire Phoenix nodded. In fact, Huofeng, Yinglong, etc. were all the overlords of the original Sacred Beast Mountain. However, time has changed, and now the gold-eating rat clan dominates. Without the origin of the grey mist, the former divine beasts have become slaves. Former kings such as Fire Phoenix King and Yinglong King could only bring their heirs here to seek support. And entering that secret land requires a mount, so this is an opportunity. Becoming the mount of the Grey Fog family is very likely to give you a chance to become attached. The young mythical beasts all nodded. Father, don't worry, we will definitely not choose these people. No one can choose the Wild Sky Alliance, I remember that. Although they spoke very quietly, Wu Dade and others heard them. Damn, I'm being discriminated against. He was indignant. But at this moment, in a corner, a little silver fox pointed at Subakian and others and asked, Brother Xuanhuan, can I choose them later? An older silver fox next to him suddenly said coldly, Idiot. They don't even have the origin of grey mist, so why choose them? The little silver fox was scolded and said timidly. However, I feel that they do not have the origin of grey mist, but they make me feel closer. The elder silver fox named Hu Xuanhuan said coldly. Xiao Chan, you will definitely regret choosing them. After hearing this, Hu Xiao Chan silently walked aside. He seemed to be very persistent. Brother Xuanhuan, why do you have to talk to her so much? At this time, next to the older silver fox, another silver fox quietly approached and said, when she chooses these people who don't have the origin of the grey mist, they will die. Then, I can replace them with the saints of the silver fox clan. Wouldn't it be nice for you and I to stay and fly together? Her name is Hukame. Hearing this, Hu Wu's eyes couldn't help but become cold and murmured. That's okay. Let her die. In the blink of an eye, Yun 11 and others entered the ancestral palace of the gold-eating rat clan. At this moment, the ancestral palace of the gold-eating rat clan was already filled with masters from the god realm. Above them are the only two divine emperors in the divine realm today. Lin Baniang, Wang Jiyun. At this moment, the two god emperors were drinking tea and talking and laughing, as if they were old friends. At the bottom, there are still masters from the Lin Wang family, such as Lin Lanfan, Wang Xiantian, etc. In addition, some other grey fog forces have also come, such as the Luo family, Yadi Luo Jianzhu, but between the two gods before the emperor, he could only succumb to the throne. Gentes Hu, the Huangtian alliance has arrived. The gold-eating rat god king, who led Wu Dade and others, walked into the hall and spoke. Hearing this, everyone in the hall looked over. Desolate Sky Alliance, haha, I heard that this force is very ignorant and tries to resist the arrival of the Grey Fog era. In the Luo family, a venerable man spoke coldly. I heard that the Desolate Sky Alliance worships an entity known as the Lord of the Desolate Sky. I wonder if the Lord of the Desolate Sky will be so scared that he will pee when he sees me, the god emperor of the Wang family. Wang Xiantian of the Wang family also sneered. Lin Lanfan and Lin Lanchen of the Lin family were shocked when they saw Wu Dade and his party. Their eyes instantly fell on Yun 11. There was an incredible look in his eyes. No. How can it be so similar? Lin Lanchen murmured and said. This girl and Xuanhuan are almost like they were carved from the same mold. Lin Lanfan's face became even more gloomy and he said. This woman is from the Desolate Sky Alliance, and that little beast Yun Chen is in the Desolate Sky Alliance. Could it be said that this girl? He guessed a certain possibility, immediately stared at Yun 11, and asked coldly. Who are you? Who are you, Yun Chen? Yun 11 looked at Lin Lanfan and others. She recognized that they were members of the Lin family, and her big eyes suddenly showed anger. My mother, was you imprisoned in a prison under the ancestral temple? Yongzi spoke. As soon as these words came out, Lin Lanfan and Lin Lanchen's expressions suddenly sank. Their guesses. It's come true. Lin Xuanhuan, this bitch. Lin Lanchen couldn't help shouting angrily. He was Lin Xuanhuan's grandfather. He was extremely angry at this moment and said. Unfortunate family, unfortunate family. Lin Lanfan stared at Yongzi and said coldly. You are indeed the bastard of Yunchen and Lin Xuanhuan. You, deserve to die. After saying that, he slapped Yun 11 hard. The grey mist swept away in an instant towards Wu Dade and his party, and he launched a killing move against Yun 11. Seeing this, everyone in the field was shocked. Is a war about to break out here? Before Yun 11 made a move, the big black dog behind her suddenly became angry. Wow, even an ant like you dares to mess around in front of this emperor. It slapped it out with one claw. Immediately, the grey fog dispersed, terrifying pressure radiated out, and a scream suddenly sounded. I saw Lin Lanfan flying upside down and hitting the steps hard. His body was cracked and grey blood was flowing out from all over. What? This dog is so strong. Lin Lanfan is a venerable person, but he can't stop it from grabbing him. Everyone is shocked. Above, Lin Baniang, who was chatting and laughing with Wang Jiyun, his face darkened slightly at this moment. He waved his hand, and a stream of grey mist was injected into Lin Lanfan's body, stabilizing Lin Lanfan's life. Your Majesty bullies the small, is that over? Lin Baniang spoke coldly, and a terrifying pressure suddenly emitted. Grey Mist God Emperor. Not only does it have the coercion of the grey mist, but it also has the status of the God Emperor. In front of this kind of pressure and status, no one in the main hall could hold on at this moment. Luo Jianzhu, Lin Lanchen, Wang Xiantian and other grey mist experts all knelt down, trembling with fear. However, in the main hall, Yun 11, Subakian and the others remained motionless. The big black dog raised his eyes and looked at Lin Baniang. In an instant, its body seemed to have grown 1,000 times, like an insurmountable mountain. Lin Baniang was slightly shocked because he discovered that his personality could not suppress this dog. Could it be said that this dog is also a god emperor? No, the other party's realm has clearly not been reached. Unless the other party has a treasure given by a god emperor level figure. At this moment, he instantly thought of the so-called Lord of Desolate Heaven. The other party is the god emperor. No wonder he dared to destroy the holy land of Delirium, and dared to challenge the grey mist forces. Brother Lin, it's just a dog, why bother you? At this time, Wang Jiyun smiled and spoke. Hearing this, Lin Baniang walked down the steps, put aside his pressure and dignity, and said coldly. I'll spare your life for now. The big black dog suddenly became angry and said. Wow, even a little insect dares to scream. If you can, I'll beat you up. I'm giving you the face of this emperor. Everyone had complicated expressions when they heard this. This dog is really crazy. Even the human and god emperors have stopped, and they are still shouting. Calm down, calm down. At this time, a grey mist emperor from the gold-eating rat clan stepped forward. His name is Lord Schuler, and he said at this moment, "The most important thing today is the opportunity outside of Shinto. Please don't fight." As he spoke, he looked at Lin Banyang and Wang Jiyun and said, "The two god emperors, the kings of beasts, broke into that secret place a few days ago. They don't know whether they are alive or dead. In the secret place, there is an aura that transcends the divine way. One of our clan is afraid that the king of beasts is in danger, and the other two do not dare to monopolize the opportunities outside the divine way, so we specially invite you to come. Now that all the major forces have arrived, how about you please move to that secret place?" Hearing this, Lin Banyang and Wang Jiyun both nodded. "Walk." Immediately, everyone walked out of the hall. "Everyone, that secret place is overgrown with poisonous weeds. If you want to enter, you must have a mount, otherwise you will be easily contaminated by poisonous weeds." Lord Schuler pointed at the various rare and exotic animals on both sides and said, "These are the strongest races in the sacred beast mountain. You can choose from the saints, and sons sent here." Hearing this, everyone was overjoyed. "Haha, the mythical beast of the past has become a mount today, which is great. Interesting." There was a lot of discussion. "My lord, please choose me." A Yinglong knelt in front of Lin Lanfan of the Lin family. "Sir, I am willing to be your mount." A fire phoenix looked at Wang Xiantian respectfully. Suddenly, many mythical beasts stepped forward to recognize their master. Hu Wushuan and Hu Kime also walked up to Lin Lanfan and others and said, "Sir, please accept us." At this moment, Lin Lanfan was delighted to receive a Yinglong. He then waved his hand and said, "Okay, stay." Hearing this, Hu Wushuan and Hu Kime were both overjoyed. "Hu Xiaochan, why don't you come here quickly?" Hu Wushuan looked at Hu Xiaochan, who was not far away. All the spirit beasts came forward to recognize their master, but Hu Xiaochan remained still. It seemed to be hesitant. After hesitating for a long time, it now walked up to Yun 11 and the others and said, "Sir, can I be your mount? I can transform, and become so big that I can carry you across the sea of grass." It spoke with hope. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 703. A little silver fox actually went to join the people of the Wild Sky Alliance. This surprised everyone. What a blind little fox. Haha, stupid. Many people don't bother to speak. Even Hu Wushuan's face turned cold at this moment and said, "Seeking death." Yun 11, Subakian and others were all stunned at this moment. Mount. They had never thought about it before. "Sister Yungzi, shall we accept it?" Subakian opened her mouth. She felt for no reason that this little fox was cute. Yun 11 nodded and said, "It's pretty cute, okay." Hu Xiaochan was very happy when she heard this. She saluted Yun 11 and Subakian. And Wu Dade was slightly surprised and said, This little fox, is it related to rare animals?" He took out the crystal piece and saw that the crystal piece gave off a faint light. Yun 11 and Subakian were even more surprised. At this time, Lord Schuler had already spoken and said, "Everyone, let's go." In a blink of an eye, the major forces on the Sacred Beast Peak have arrived in front of a valley. In the valley, the mist is thick. "This valley is a little weird," Wang Jiyun said in a deep voice. "It is impossible to fly in this valley. Even the God Emperor is restricted. Access is only possible on foot. In the valley, at a glance, there are delicious grasses, colorful fallen flowers, and various plants growing densely. Is this the secret valley? Extraordinary, indeed extraordinary." These plants are absolutely extraordinary, like sacred herbs. For a moment, everyone was excited. Many people were very excited and their eyes were shining. Because, even though they were far apart, they all felt the soaring sacred medicinal energy coming from the valley. Although the fog in the valley is extremely thick and it is difficult to see very far, there are definitely many rare and magical medicines growing there. Normally, it would be very difficult to get one, but now, they are everywhere. It seems that there is indeed a treasure hidden in it. Lin Banyang also spoke solemnly. Everyone. At this time, a sub-emperor of the gold-eating rat clan stood up. His name was Lord Schuler. He introduced himself at this moment. This valley is both a blessed place and a desperate place. As you can see, there are indeed sacred herbs among these densely packed plants, but there are also deadly poisonous weeds growing there. If those poisonous weeds are taken, even the venerable can be poisoned to death. Even the most terrifying poisonous weed can damage the origin of the venerable just by smelling it and touching its edges. The magic medicine and poisonous weeds are mixed together, it is extremely difficult to distinguish. And if you want to enter the secret place, you must pass through the sea of grass. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Even the venerable can be poisoned to death. Haha, poisonous weeds? For us, it's nothing more than that. At this time, Wang Xiantian sneered and said, "Please Mr. Luo." Immediately, an old man in a white robe and carrying a bamboo basket walked up. In his bamboo basket, he carried a pile of ancient books. It's actually him, Luo Changtian, who is known as the King of Medicine. It is said that he has read all the medical classics in the world and knows no medicine. Once this person comes out, he will be like walking on flat ground. Everyone was talking about it. Our Lin family has also invited experts. Lin Lanchan also spoke. A bald old man appeared. This bald old man looked very fat. He was covered with medicine bags and had a smile on his face. As soon as he appeared, many people changed their expressions and hurriedly moved away from him. Poison King Duchenshi. It is said that this person used poison to kill the God King before the age of grey fog came. He uses poison so well that no one can match it. Many people are extremely afraid. I didn't expect you to come too. Luo Changtian looked at Duchenshi and couldn't help but speak. This place is my home court, how could I not come? Duchenshi smiled and said. I can already smell the fragrance of poison. Luo Changtian said, this time, you and I will cooperate for the time being. Duchenshi smiled and said. Sure. When Lord Schuler saw this, he also smiled and said. With the help of two experts, it seems that our trip will be safe. Everyone, let's go in together. Everyone was ready to leave immediately. Wait. At this time, Lin Lanchan suddenly spoke and turned back coldly to look at Yun 11, Subakian and others. The Wild Sky Alliance is the public enemy of the Grey Fog era. They are not qualified to enter. He is full of hostility towards the Desolate Sky Alliance. Haha, I agree. Illegitimate daughters and dogs are not allowed to enter such a treasured place. Wang Xiantian also smiled and spoke. His eyes were filled with amusement. The illegitimate daughter he was talking about, naturally meant, Yungzi. In that case, just ignore them. Lord Schuler also smiled and said, with the two god emperors here, the Wild Sky Alliance is not important at all. Hu Wuxuan and Hu Kame, who were following Lin Lanfan, couldn't help but look at Hu Xiaochan at this moment. Brother Wuxuan, look at this idiot Hu Xiaochan, following those people, he can't even enter the land of opportunity, haha. Hu Kame sneered. Hu Wu's eyes were also extremely indifferent. He looked at Hu Xiaochan and murmured. I wanted to take you as my concubine, but you turned out to be a complete idiot, that's all, go to hell. Immediately, the Lin family, Wang family, and others set off into the valley. Fire Phoenix, Yinglong, hydra, silver fox, etc. all became very huge. People of all races rode many beasts forward. In this way, even if you accidentally touch poisonous weeds, the people on the mount will be safer. These sons of bitches, who dare to say such things about Miss Yongzi, are seeking death, seeking death. Wu Dade was already angry, completely angry. Wow, if I don't kill them, I'm not a dog. The big black dog was also very angry and itched his teeth. Subakian looked directly at Yongzi and said, "Sister, this time, I'll add Qingming powder and mute medicine together." Yun 11 nodded and said, "Come on, let's go in too." They also went into the valley. The mist coming from the pavement smelled of medicine. As far as the eye can see, he can only see about 10 meters around. All are various plants, herbs, etc. There are some messy traces among the plants, and many weeds are intertwined. Obviously, after the people in front explored the path, they covered the road with various herbs, so that those who followed could not follow. "My lords, I will transform and carry you in." Hu Xiaochan spoke. However, Subakian stopped it and said, "No need, just turn into human form and walk in with us." Hearing this, Hu Xiaochan was startled. "Don't you need to transform into a mount?" It immediately transformed into a human form. Suddenly, it turned into a girl of 18 or 19 years old, with a silver robe like tassels and a graceful figure, Xiajiabiu. At this moment, she saluted Subakian, Yongzi, and others, and said, "Meet some adults." Seeing this, Yun 11, Subakian and others were all surprised. "No need to be polite, you don't need to call us adults, just call us sister." "What's your name?" Subakian asked. The girl immediately said, "Sister Qijian, my name is Hu Xiaochan. I come from the Silver Fox clan and am a saint of the Silver Fox clan." As she spoke, she paused, and said, "Sister, can you not go in here?" She looked at the valley with some fear in her eyes and said, "Grandpa said that the source of disaster is suppressed here and cannot be approached." Hearing this, Subakian and others were even more surprised and said, "The source of the disaster?" Hu Xiaochan said, "Yes, when Grandma was not sick, she would often take me to the entrance of the valley, point to the valley, and tell me many legends and stories. Grandma said that this valley and sea of grass is a desperate place, but it is also a kind of protection. Only by keeping people away can we ensure that the source of the disaster will not be discovered." Obviously, those stories left a deep impression on her, so she was a little scared to talk about them at the moment. Yun 11, Subakian and others all understood. They suddenly understood why Hu Xiaochan was related to rare animals. Knowing this, maybe their ancestors have something to do with the 10 spirits, maybe. "Don't be afraid, no matter what kind of disaster, you can't cause trouble." Yongzi spoke. Hu Xiaochan looked at Yun 11 and others. She felt that these people gave her unreasonable trust, so she nodded immediately and said, "But, poisonous weeds are everywhere, and even Grandpa doesn't dare to approach this place. How to enter is a question. Let's start testing the poison." Wu Dade rubbed his hands excitedly while looking at the big black dog. The big black dog suddenly became frightened and said angrily, "Wow, you pet, do you want to die?" Subakian said, "Senior brother Dade, hey, no need." She stepped forward and said, "I can distinguish poisonous weeds from medicinal herbs, just follow me." She pulled up 2 grasses and said, "Here, these 2 are medicinal herbs." As she spoke, she pulled up the 2 herbs and threw them aside. Seeing this, Hu Xiaochan was surprised and said, "Sister, this is the sacred grass, don't you want it?" Subakian said, "The potency of the medicine is too low, and the hidden source is incomplete, it's of no use." Hu Xiaochan had some anxiety on her face and said. Then, can you give it to me? I want to take it back and help grandma treat her illness. Hearing this, Subakian was startled for a moment, and then realized that although the grass here was not as good as weeds in small mountain villages, it was still the supreme divine grass for cultivators in the divine realm. She then smiled and said, "Of course you can. There are a lot of medicinal herbs here, you can eat enough first and then bring them to your grandma." Hearing this, Hu Xiaochan carefully put away the two sacred herbs and said, "I'll keep it for grandma first." Subakian nodded and moved on immediately. The two plants over there are poisonous. There are small thorns on the leaves. If you are stung, the skin will ulcer, let's avoid some. As she walked, she picked up herbs and handed them to Hu Xiaochan, avoiding poisonous weeds at the same time, just like strolling in a garden, extremely leisurely. Even Yun 11 was interested now. He was analyzing herbs and poisonous weeds while following him. During this time, she studied medicine and gained a certain foundation. Wu Date and Big Black Dog could only follow silently. The fog was thick, and in the blink of an eye, they had traveled 4 or 5 miles. And now, on the other side. Be careful, the smell of poison here is too strong. Poison King Duchenshi opened his mouth to warn. They have only advanced a mile, and now, the Poison King and the Medicine King are already sweating profusely. Because, the further inside, the more poisons and herbs they couldn't recognize. It's impossible to tell the difference. Everyone, wait a minute while I look through the book. Medicine King Luo Changtian opened all the books in the bamboo basket, sweating while flipping through them, and said, "I know all the herbs in the world, how could I not recognize these? It shouldn't. The Poison King and the Medicine King were nervously identifying each other. And everyone was also frightened. Along the way, if you are not careful, you will die. It is extremely difficult to distinguish between poisonous weeds and medicinal herbs. Most of the poisonous weeds will disappear if touched. In fact, the Luo family has already lost a venerable person, making everyone even more frightened. Fortunately, the Poison King and the Medicine King. Otherwise, we will be littered with corpses for a mile." Everyone couldn't help but feel happy. The Lin family, Wang family, etc. also harvested some sacred herbs during their march. At this moment, while the Poison King and the Medicine King were researching, they all began to refine the herbal medicine. "I heard that your fox tribe is good at seducing people with sex, but you don't know whether it's true or not." Suddenly, the Lin family and Lin Lanfan looked at Hu Wuxuan and the two. The magic medicine he had just refined had the effect of aphrodisiac. At this moment, the medicine's properties took effect, and a ball of evil fire disturbed some of his thoughts, so he couldn't help but ask questions. When Hukame heard the words, she immediately transformed into a human form, showing a devilish figure, clad in silver gauze, looming. She lay obediently at Lin Lanfan's feet and said, "Sir, you are joking, how dare I confuse you?" Upon seeing this, Lin Lanfan's eyes flashed with satisfaction, and he threw some of the refined medicine residue to Hukame and said, "I've given it to you." Hukame was immediately overjoyed and carefully took the medicine dregs. Next to him, Hu Wuxuan was overjoyed when he saw this. He turned into a human form and lay at Lin Lanfan's feet, cooing. "Grown-ups." When Lin Lanfan saw this, he felt a chill and kicked him away, saying, "Big damn, get out." Hu Wuxuan stood up with a miserable look on his face. He wanted to know why he was not a female fox. God is unfair. About half an hour passed. The Poison King and the Medicine King decided on the route after a heated discussion. Everyone then moved on. Good night. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 704. These two herbs can strengthen the body. Be careful, this area is full of poisonous weeds. If you touch it, your intestines will be pierced and your stomach will be broken. In the Sea of Grass, Xuanhuan and Yun11 took the lead, followed by Hu Xiaochan, Wu Dade, and Big Black Dog. Under the recognition of Xuanhuan and Yun11, they were moving very fast, as if they were in an uninhabited area. Along the way, Hu Xiaochan kept putting away various magical medicines, and her storage ring was almost full. Ah, there are so many. It's enough for grandma and enough for the tribe. She thought about it and couldn't help it. So I decided to start eating. Then, as she followed, she began to take the magic medicine that Xuanhuan and the others recognized. For a time, her aura kept changing and growing. Not far ahead. Huh? There are some magic medicine kings here. Xuanhuan suddenly spoke and pointed forward. In the middle of the dense weeds, there were several small trees growing like magical herbs. The magical medicine looks very similar to sugar cane, with purple-black skin and sections. Divine Medicine King, as the name suggests, is the top of the miraculous medicines and contains the richest essence of Shinto. Xuanhuan stepped forward, broke the oldest Xuanhuan cane, and said, "Sister Yungzi, let's eat and walk. This sugar cane should be quite sweet." Yun11 also nodded, and immediately they divided the sugar cane. Even the Big Black Dog bit into most of the Yaoang sugar cane. Wow, so sweet. Yungzi was very happy eating sugar cane. Okay, delicious. Wu Dade also spit out the bagasse on the ground while chewing it. Even the Big Black Dog stood upright at this moment, grabbing the sugar cane with its paws and gnawing it until it screamed happily. And Hu Xiaochan, holding the sugar cane in her hand, looked at the few people with a somewhat complicated look. This is the magic medicine king. They, actually just tasted it, chewed it for a few times and then vomited it. She took a small bite and chewed it repeatedly. She really didn't want to spit it out. Even sugarcane bagasse contains strong medicinal properties. Forget it, the adults are vomiting, so just follow suit. After all, you have to be consistent with the adults. She also vomited while eating. Looking at the dregs of medicine on the ground, she felt that she seemed to have changed. She had become such a spendthrift. This sugar cane tastes really good. I haven't eaten enough yet. Damn dog, stop chewing and share some with me. While walking, Wu Dade spoke to the Big Black Dog. Hearing this, the Big Black Dog was startled for a moment, then lowered his head, stuck out his tongue, licked the sugar cane suddenly, and said, "Do you still want to be loved by others?" Wu Dade scolded. "Damn dog, you are so disgusting." They continued to move forward, and not long after, suddenly another sugar cane forest appeared in front of them. The king of divine medicine. Wu Dade was immediately overjoyed and prepared to step forward, but the Big Black Dog had already rushed out, bit off the thickest and largest piece of sugar cane, and began to chew on it. "Damn dog, leave some for me." Wu Dade was anxious. However, before he passed, the Big Black Dog suddenly stopped and started trembling all over. "Woof, woof woof, I am a little dizzy, a little dizzy." The Big Black Dog shakes its head. Wu Dade was immediately shocked and said, "Junior sister Baijian, look quickly, what happened to the dead dog?" Xuanhuan said, "It's poisoned." As she spoke, she stepped forward and poured a packet of medicinal powder into the Big Black Dog's mouth. Suddenly, the Big Black Dog was frothing at the mouth, and then he recovered. "Wow, this sugar cane is damn poisonous." The Big Black Dog suddenly stayed far away from the sugar cane forest. "What's going on? They're all obviously the same sugar cane." Wu Dade was confused. Xuanhuan said, "The sugar cane is indeed the same, but it grows in different places. The soil where this sugarcane forest grows is extremely toxic, so it itself is highly toxic. Hearing this, everyone suddenly realized. It's really dangerous here. They moved on, and soon after, they found many magical medicines that they could take. However, basically they only tasted it briefly, and the magic medicine only had a taste, and it had no effect on them at all. Even Xuanhuan felt that her belly was a little full after all the food she ate. Although she also vomited the dregs of the medicine at the beginning, she ate it very carefully and chewed it for a long time before vomiting. Now, she just doesn't care. Just like Xuanhuan and others, just chew it and feel the taste. Numb, really numb. As they continued to go deeper, the fog gradually thinned in front of them, and a sea of two-leaf grass suddenly appeared in front of them. The two-leaf clover in front of me is very similar to the ordinary four-leaf clover, but it has only two leaves. The two leaves are on the same stem, but the colors are different. Huh? The herbs here are a bit strange. Xuanhuan opened her mouth and said. The same root grass grows two leaves, one is poison and the other is medicine. One blade of grass is poisonous and the other is medicine. How did this go? Wu Dade was stunned and said. Densely packed two-leaf clover and poisonous leaves are everywhere. In other places, although poisons and magical medicines are mixed, the poisons do not occupy the land and can be avoided to find a path forward. But every blade of grass in front of me has a poisonous leaf. I have to go there. At this moment, the big black dog looked at this two-leaf clover, and the dog's eyes were a little frightened. It recognized this kind of grass. Although it was not the spiritual grass that once drove it crazy for 3 months, it also brought back bad memories. People's favorite. At this time, the big black dog spoke in a deep voice and said. Do you know that there is a higher level of body refining? Wu Dade said. What? The big black dog said. Invulnerable to all poisons. When Wu Dade heard this, he immediately panicked. What did this dead dog mean? However, when he was feeling scared, he heard a big black dog barking. This dog barking immediately made Wu Dade's mind go blank. At this moment, he turned around subconsciously and walked towards the sea of grass. I can't help myself. No. Dead dog, what are you doing? Why should I bend down? Why should I grab this grass? No. I don't want to eat it, I really don't want to eat it. Wu Dade reacted and wailed loudly. However, he is now controlled by the big black dog's magic. Grab a piece of grass and swallow it like crazy. He ate his way alive. Seeing this, Yun 11 and Xuanhuan couldn't help but be a little shocked. Don't worry, the poison here won't kill him, but will make him stronger. After undergoing this baptism, his physical body will not only not be afraid of weapons, but also will not be afraid of poison. Wow, this emperor is doing this for his own good. The big black dog spoke earnestly. Xuanhuan looked complicated and said to Wu Dade. Senior brother Dade, don't be afraid, these poisons may give you a stomachache, but Dehei is right, your life should not be in danger. Wu Dade, on the other hand, said sadly and angrily while eating. Damn it, I agreed to let the dead dog test the poison, but in the end I suffered a big loss, so I quit, fatty, I quit. Xuanhuan looked at this scene, her big eyes filled with shock. She once heard her grandma tell the legend about the sea of grass. A stem or two leaves could kill the god emperor with poison. However, at this moment, Wu Dade found a way out, and he was okay. It's just a stomachache. What kind of physical fitness is this? Be patient, it will happen in 2 chapters, even if someone has only 1 breath left, it will happen. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 705. And at this moment. Rear. Everyone, Mr. Luo, have run out of skills. Luo Changtian looked at the herbs in front of him, sighed, threw the book in his hand on the ground, and gave up. The herbs that appeared now were beyond his knowledge. Moreover, the magic medicine is also mixed with poison, making it difficult to distinguish. Poison King was also sweating profusely and said, "It's impossible to rely on the two of us. There is only one way now." He looked at everyone and said, "Test the poison. Test the poison." Hearing this, the expressions of everyone in the Lin family and the Wang family changed slightly. We can roughly tell where there are fewer poisonous weeds, but we can't accurately identify the poisonous weeds. This is really the only way. Luo Changtian also spoke. "Try the poison over there." Lin Baniang spoke directly. Immediately, all major families sent out cannon fodder and began testing the poison. In this way, advance slowly. Shortly after, hey, is this the magic medicine king?" Luo Changtian pointed to a few sugar cane plants in front of him, his eyes shining. Poison King also said, "Not the real magic medicine king, but it looks close." Everyone was overjoyed when they heard this. Approaching the king of divine medicine, this can be called the most precious medicine. "Let's go pick." Lin Lanchen spoke. Lin Lanfen stopped him and said, "Wait. Let someone test the poison first, just to be sure." Along the way, there have been several cases where the Poison King and the Medicine King made mistakes in their judgment. We have to be careful. As he said this, he glanced at Xuanhuan and said, "You go." Xuanhuan suddenly trembled, let himself go. "It's over." He was very frightened, but now he had no choice but to step forward, carefully break off a piece of sugar cane, and eat it. This is the magic medicine." But then he was overjoyed. Not poisonous. Everyone was surprised. All the sugar cane was harvested immediately, and only the top venerable figures got some. Keep moving forward. Based on my knowledge of the magical medicine sugar cane, there must be many contiguous ones. There should be more ahead. Luo Changtian spoke firmly. Not long after, they saw another piece of sugar cane. Moreover, the aura of each strain is very powerful. The king of divine medicine, the real king of divine medicine. The most magical medicine, even the God Emperor has a hard time finding it. For all eternity, there have been no more than 100 miraculous medicine kings in the world, but there are so many here. Everyone is excited. The divine medicine king is extremely rare to see in the entire world. It was even regarded as exclusive to the God Emperor. Since ancient times, only God Emperor level figures can enjoy it. Such a divine thing. A flash of greed flashed in Wang Jiyun's eyes. The king of divine medicine, haha, it is indeed a place of opportunity, it is indeed a place of opportunity. Lin Baniang also laughed. Although the two of them have become God Emperors, they have yet to obtain the divine medicine king. The divine medicine king is the standard equipment of the God Emperor. Now that he has obtained it, it is considered complete. "Sir, shall I try poison again?" At this time, Xuanhuan looked at Lin Lanfen expectantly. However, Lin Lanfen slapped him away. "Who do you think you are? You want to take advantage of the magic medicine king." Lin Lanfen spoke disdainfully, then stepped forward respectfully and said, "God Emperor, please. The king of divine medicine, even the venerable and the yati, are not qualified to get involved. That is exclusive to the God Emperor." Immediately, Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun came forward happily. "There are 11 plants in total. You and I will each share 5. The remaining one will be given to the others to share equally. How about that?" Wang Jiyun spoke. Hearing this, Lin Baniang also nodded and said, "Can." Immediately, the two of them waved their hands and each got 5 plants of the magic sugar cane. The last one was thrown to Luo Jianzhu and others. Luo Jianzhu and others were also very excited when they got the magic medicine king. They immediately divided the precious and important land. Lin Lanshan, Lin Lanfan, Wang Xiantian, etc. all got a small piece each. This is a divine object, let's refine it first. Lin Baniang thought for a moment, then took a bite and started eating the sugar cane. Opposite him, Wang Jiyun did the same. The two seem to be harmonious, but they are just helpless actions. After all, they are both God Emperors, and neither one is sure of killing the other. They are in a balance of fearing each other. At this time, whoever's realm improves first may break the balance. Therefore, the two of them were scrambling to be the first to eat it. However, both of them had only chewed a few mouthfuls and had not yet swallowed it, when they were suddenly stunned. No. This, yuck. Lin Baniang hurriedly spit out the sugar cane in his mouth. However, his mouth was now completely rotten, black, and smelly. My mouth, hurts so much. Wang Jiyun also screamed in agony, and fell to his knees directly on the ground, holding his belly, trembling, wailing, and extremely miserable. Behind them, Lin Lanfan, Lin Lanshan and others suddenly started screaming in agony. Anyone who comes into contact with these sugar canes will suffer from severe poisoning symptoms at this moment, such as mouth ulcers, origin disorder, and hallucinations. No. What's happening here? Woof woof, woof woof woof, I am a dog. The strong man in the field fell down a lot. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. What's going on? Isn't this the magic medicine king? How could it be poison? Impossible, what's going on? It's so weird. It's obviously the same medicine. I was fine with it before. How come it's so poisonous now? Everyone was shocked and confused, and their scalps were numb. The main thing is that even the grey mist god emperor is kneeling at this moment, falling to the ground, curled up and twisted, foaming at the mouth. In fact, these two god emperors were already incontinent. They seemed to have lost their consciousness and went crazy. They grabbed their own excrement and smeared it all over their bodies. This is absolutely terrifying. Is the god emperor crazy? No. We should retreat, this is the Jedi. Even the god emperor can't bear it, what qualifications do we have to move forward? Everyone was panicked, completely panicked. Poison King, Medicine King, help, help. Lin Lanfan lay down in front of Luo Changtian and Du Chenxi, begging bitterly. His whole body was exhausted, as if he had turned into an empty shell. This is poison at the level of the Divine Medicine King. There is no way to save it. Luo Changtian sighed. I've been playing with drugs all my life, and I've never seen anything like this, I can't save you. Du Chenxi also shook his head. This poison was beyond their knowledge. At this moment, Lord Yadi Shuler of the gold-eating rat clan next to him had an extremely gloomy expression. He had not taken the magic medicine king just now. Now, there was a flash of hesitation in his eyes. These idiots, just eat blindly. He really wanted these people to die. But, this will ruin the grand plan of Emperor Hokai. God Emperor Hokai is still waiting for these two God Emperors to go and open the door. Can't die yet. Thinking of this, he immediately stepped forward and a jade bottle appeared in his hand. The jade bottle is filled with green mist. During their exploration of this secret land, they once obtained some azure poison. But within that kind of poison, there is a mysterious and unpredictable energy of vitality. The green mist in this jade bottle was refined by their family with all their efforts, and it can cure all poisons in the world. It can be called a supreme treasure. But now, I don't care about that much anymore. He stepped forward, placed the jade bottle between the mouths and noses of Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun, and let them each take a sip. At this moment, the green mist entered the body, and in an instant, the symptoms of the two people were relieved instantly. The ulcers on their mouth seemed to have stopped, and at the same time, a little inspiration gathered in their absent-minded eyes. I'm not dead. Wang Jiyun spoke tremblingly. What kind of poison is this? I feel like I have died more than 10,000 times. Lin Banyang stood up with difficulty. He stretched out his hand and touched his rotten lips, but he felt a strange smell on his hands. When he lowered his head, his mentality suddenly collapsed. Nima, I'm incontinent. Lin Banyang's whole body started to tremble. He found that it was all over his hands and body. No. At this moment, he felt that he was about to die of shame. His heart was trembling, and tears immediately fell down. He waved his hand hurriedly, and grey mist rolled in, hiding his body. Next to him, Wang Jiyun did the same. At this moment, Lord Schuler had already rescued Wang Xiantian, Lin Lanshan, and others. Everyone was in an extremely embarrassed state, but they all felt lucky to survive the disaster. Survived, we finally survived. Lin Lanfan gasped for air, and at the same time, a trace of regret arose in his heart. Damn it, if I had known earlier, I should have found someone to try the poison. He couldn't help but look at Hu Wuxuan and said angrily. Boy, come here. From now on, you will try every magic medicine first. Hu Wuxuan's face suddenly turned ugly. On the other side, Lord Schuler looked at Hu Wuxuan with some confusion. This fox Wuxuan is also very lucky, and he is alive until now. He couldn't help but think of that unparalleled lucky star. Could it be that the name Wuxuan brings good luck? He suddenly wanted to change his name to Schuler Wuxuan. Finally, everyone has finished repairing. They continued to move forward. On the next road, everyone who had experienced the disaster of life and death became more and more careful. Basically, no matter what kind of medicine, people are sent to test the poison. Their mounts were also abandoned to test the poison. Even the mythical beast mounts Hydra and Yinglong were poisoned to death. Only a few such as Huofeng and Hu Wuxuan are left. The fog is thinning ahead. Finally, someone shouted. They crossed the sea of grass and saw a dense sea of two-leaf grass in front of them. No. These are all poison. The Poison King's expression changed drastically. You are wrong, this is obviously a miracle medicine. Luo Changtian shouted. Hearing this, everyone was confused. Why are these two old men completely different? No. I understand, these grasses are both magical medicine and poison. Poison King observed a piece of two-leaf grass for a long time, and his expression suddenly changed. Luo Changtian also quickly came to the corresponding conclusion. Hearing this, everyone looked at each other in shock. This means, no matter how you go, you can't avoid the poison. No. Look, here, how does it feel like it's been gnawed by a cow? At this time, a cultivator suddenly spoke. Everyone looked in the direction he was pointing and saw a path that had been gnawed bare in the dense sea of grass. It's like being eaten clean by a cow. Everyone was shocked when they saw this trail. What kind of cow is this? It gnawed so cleanly, and gnawed so much. Good night. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Gui Xian. Chapter 706. Warm reminder from Geixin, please consume this chapter before and after meals. In the sea of grass where Medicine King and Poison King were helpless, a clean path suddenly appeared, which shocked everyone. Even the God Emperor may not be able to withstand the poison here. What animal can eat it all the way? It's unimaginable. Could this be a creature beyond the divine way? If there really is such a being and entered the secret place first, then there is no need for us to go. If we go, we will be cannon fodder. For a time, everyone was talking about it. At this moment, Medicine King Luo Changtian couldn't help but think of something. He squatted down solemnly and inspected the gnawing traces. No. This may not be a terrifying existence, but, an auspicious beast. He suddenly spoke. Hearing this, Poison King Duchenshi, who was meditating next to him, also changed his expression instantly and said, "Are you talking about the legendary sacred beast, Kuei Niu?" Kuei Niu. This is an extremely rare auspicious animal. It is said that the Kuei Niu has its own auspiciousness and can travel through dangerous places in the world without being invaded by poison or evil. In fact, there are many mythical beasts with similar legends, such as Bai-Zi, Kuei Niu, and the king of auspicious beasts, the most sacred and noble Kylin. But the road in front of me looks like it was gnawed by cows. Therefore, they couldn't help but think of Kuei Niu. Hearing the conversation between the Poison King and the Medicine King, the people around him were also surprised. What? Kuei Niu? This is a legendary beast. Really or not, as long as you can get close to this auspicious beast, it will be a great opportunity. This is the Sacred Beast Mountain. It is the residence of the sacred beasts. There are Kuei Niu, it makes sense. Everyone was talking a lot and seemed happy. Grey Mist God Emperor Lin Banyang was a little excited. He looked at Poison King and Medicine King and said, "Is what you two said, is true?" Wang Jiyun was also very anxious and said, "How sure are you? They are both Grey Mist God Emperors. If they can get Kuei Niu, their strength will immediately skyrocket, and it will be easy to kill each other instantly. This Kuei Niu is related to the success or failure of the hegemony." But Luo Changtian shook his head and said, "Right now, we can only speculate. I want to confirm it, unless I find Kuei Niu's cut on this trail." Wang Jiyun was confused and said, "Rumination." Luo Changtian nodded and said, "Yes, Kuei Niu is also a cow, and it can also chew its cud. As the saying goes, it means chewing its cud. Moreover, Kuei Niu will spit out some ruminants, which have been chewed by Kuei Niu. If you get even a little bit of it, it will be better than the magic king of medicine." Hearing this, everyone understood it. The regurgitated food of Kuei Niu is somewhat similar to the legendary ambergris saliva. The ambergris, revered as a treasure by the world, is actually the dragon's saliva, while the regurgitated food of the Kuei cow is what the Kuei cow has eaten and spit out. Both are treasures. In that case, let's set off quickly. Lin Banyang urged. Immediately, everyone hurriedly moved forward. They moved very quickly along the trail gnawed by the Kuei Niu. Huh? I seem to smell something. While walking, Poison King suddenly took a sniff. He had the most sensitive sense of smell and discovered some unusual smell in the air. Here, what is here? Is it the cud of Kuei Niu? At this time, a cultivator exclaimed. He pointed at a mess of slimy stuff on the grass. Suddenly, everyone looked over. I saw that pulpy and sticky stuff, vaguely green, with a layer of sticky water stains. No. This thing smells bad. It makes people want to feel sick. It's impossible, Kuei Niu's cud is a sacred thing. Everyone is confused. The Poison King and the Medicine King quickly came closer. They stared at the thing, smelling it and measuring it. The Medicine King even read through all the ancient books. I feel, this is most likely the regurgitated food of Kuei Niu, which contains a very powerful sacred aura. Finally, Luo Changtian made a judgment. Poison King also nodded and said. Indeed, look, there seem to be some unchanged eued grass stems in this pile of things, they are very similar to two-leaf clover. I also think this is what Kuei Niu vomited after eating these herbs. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Is this a divine thing? Is it the regurgitated food of Kuei Niu? Wang Jiyun and Lin Banyang both hurriedly approached. How confident are you? Wang Jiyun couldn't wait to speak. Gentlemen, is your analysis accurate? Lin Banyang also rubbed his hands, looking forward to it. Poison King and Medicine King thought for a moment. Find someone to try it? Luo Changtian spoke. Hearing this, everyone nodded. God Emperor, let this boy try it. At this time, Lin Lanfan of the Lin family kicked Hu Wuxuan behind him and flew him to the side of the thing. Boy, try it. Lin Baniang spoke coldly. Just dip a little with your hands and try it. If you dare to eat it secretly, I will kill you on the spot. Wang Jiyun threatened that Kuei Niu's regurgitated food was their feast and no one else was allowed to get involved. Hu Wuxuan was trembling with fear at the moment. God bless, God bless. He muttered silently, gritted his teeth, wet his fingers, and then sucked a bit. This taste. His eyes suddenly lit up. So cool. What a powerful magical effect. He was so happy. Although it's hard to tell the taste, what is contained in it is indeed a magic medicine, even stronger than the king of magic medicines. He couldn't help it anymore and took a bite. Before he could bite him, he was slapped away by Lin Baniang. It's not poisonous. Lin Baniang was overjoyed, rolled up his sleeves, and wanted to hold it up. Brother Lin, each person gets half, no one can eat more and take more. Wang Jiyun's expression darkened and he stopped Lin Baniang. A flash of anger suddenly flashed in Lin Baniang's eyes. He really wanted to take action and eat this feast for himself. But, it's not a good time to take action now. He took a deep breath, smiled, and said, Of course, of course. Immediately, they divided the thing into two parts. The two gentlemen, Poison King and Medicine King, are great contributors and should not be treated unfairly. Wang Jiyun spoke again. Immediately, he and Lin Baniang divided a little bit between themselves and gave it to Luo Changtian and Du Chenxi. After all, these two people still have to win over each other. Immediately, Luo Changtian and Du Chenxi were overjoyed. They took the cut and started enjoying it. It's really stronger than the Divine Medicine King. It's recorded in ancient books that if you're honest, I won't bully you. If you're honest, I won't bully you. Luo Changtian felt the beauty on the tip of his tongue and was excited. I didn't expect that Kuei Niu actually appeared in the world. Du Chenxi was also completely sure that what he ate was the regurgitated food of Kuei Niu. Lin Baniang and Luo Changtian rushed to refine it. Seeing the two god emperors and the two medicine kings enjoying the delicious food, everyone was filled with envy at this moment. Damn it, if I had known I should have volunteered to test the poison just now. Lin Lanfan looked regretful. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but grab Hu Wuxuan and beat him. Hu Wuxuan was beaten until he vomited blood. Keep going. These are just side branches. Kuei Niu itself is the supreme treasure. They continued to move forward, and everyone's eyes were full of expectations. And at this moment, the other end of the sea of grass is almost close to the exit. Vomit. A loud sound of vomiting was heard. Wu Date felt like he was about to collapse and he was vomiting all the way. Subakian was indeed right. The poisons didn't kill him, but they made him feel sick to his stomach. Damn dog, pat it for me. He spoke while vomiting with difficulty. Next to him, the big black dog stood up and patted Wu Date on the back with his front paws. The dog's eyes were filled with disgust. But Yun 11, Subakian and Hu Xiaochan were far away, separated by magic power, unable to see, hear, or smell. Wow, I love you, I take care of you, you must be grateful. The big black dog patted Wu Date on the back and spoke. After Wu Date finished vomiting, his eyes turned red when he heard this. You bitch, you hurt me and you still say things like this? Are you still a human being? The big black dog said. This emperor is not a human in the first place. Wow, you finished vomiting, right? Come on, it's the last part, Niu Date, come on. Brave people love you, don't be afraid of difficulties. The big black dog's paw points forward. This sea of grass is still a few hundred meters long, and we are almost through. The grass here is more lush and exudes a charming green light. When Wu Dade saw this, he suddenly became sad. Damn, are you still coming? He wanted to cry, really. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 707. I don't know if those two old guys Lin Banyang and Wang Jiyun are here. This is a foggy area. In the endless fog, there seems to be a door standing in time and space. In front of the door, at this moment, a middle-aged man with a mustache was muttering. He is the God Emperor of the Gold-Eating Rat Clan, Xuanhuan. Behind him, there was a middle-aged man, who was taking the magic medicine. It was Xuanhuan. God Emperor, do you think those people can come in? I'm worried. Xuanhuan couldn't help but speak while eating. In fact, he quite likes this kind of place in his heart. There are magic medicines everywhere, you can use them by yourself, your cultivation level will increase rapidly, and it is also safe. You don't have to worry about encountering that evil little mountain village in your whole life. Don't even worry about meeting that big black dog. What a beautiful life, what a wonderful paradise. Thinking that when those grey mist god emperors came, they would probably fight and kill in this place, he felt, it was really boring. After hearing Xuanhuan's words, Xuanhuan just sneered and said, "Don't worry, my brother, Lord Schuler, has a treasure with him. Even if they are poisoned, we can still save them. They'll definitely get here safely." Hearing this, Xuanhuan silently hoped in his heart that it would be best if he were poisoned to death. Don't bother him. Based on the time, it should be almost. Xuanhuan murmured. "Hide with me." When he opened his mouth, Xuanhuan and him disappeared from their places immediately. Now, in the sea of grass. What a treasure! Lin Banyang licked his lips with a look of aftertaste. The regurgitated food of Kuei cattle is so fragrant. This Kuei Niu eats a lot, it chews so much cud. This emperor was a little full during this journey. Wang Jiyun also spoke. Because they found a lot of ruminants, they began to reward some of them to the people around them. Lin Lanfan, Lin Lanshan, Wang Xiantian, Luo Jianzhu, etc. all got some and enjoyed them with great care. Lord Yadi Schuler of the gold-devouring rat clan looked at the rumination object in his hand, but he was lost in thought at this moment. Kuei Niu. This kind of divine beast has only been heard in legends, even in the sacred beast mountain. Why did you show up today? Previously, their clan of gold-devouring rats had been exploring this secret land for so long and had never seen. Is something going to happen? He became a little worried, but he did not hesitate and ate the regurgitated food. Good stuff indeed. If there really is a Kuei Niu, this time, it must belong to our clan of gold-eating rats. Heaven teaches our clan great prosperity. He was determined in his heart. The God Emperor should have arranged everything at the end, right? Everyone moved on. Soon, they saw the edge of the sea of grass. The traverse is almost complete. Kuei Niu helped us, and we came here safely. The opportunity here is destined to belong to us. Everyone is extremely excited at this moment. Here, they found a pile of Kuei cattle's cud. After sharing the food, they finally passed through the sea of grass and entered a land filled with heavy fog. This is the end of this area. The fog is thick and it seems to have cut off all perception. What is hidden here? I feel like I have touched the edge of the world. Everyone looks solemn. There's something strange about this place. The Emperor's consciousness can't penetrate this grey mist. Lin Banyang's face was very solemn. These fogs are very strange. They contain some kind of energy that is not even found under the grey fog. Wang Jiyun also spoke solemnly. Huh? Listen carefully, what is this sound? Suddenly, a cultivator spoke and made a silencing gesture. Everyone held their breath and listened carefully to the sounds in the fog. Immediately afterwards, they heard a sound coming one after another in the heavy fog in front of them, as if some beast was roaring, vomiting blood, and grunting when it was injured. Vomit. Roar. Cough. This kind of voice is intermittent, dull with a hint of sadness and anger with a hint of helplessness. I understand, is this the voice of Kuei Niu? Lin Lanchen tentatively spoke. As soon as he opened his mouth, everyone could not help but shudder, and then they all became excited. It must be true. Along the way, we only saw Kuei Niu's regurgitated artifacts, but not the Kuei Niu himself. Now, we are about to meet him. Medicine King Luo Changtian clenched his fists, his eyes filled with excitement. Listen to Kuei Niu's voice. Is Kuei Niu injured? Poison King Du Chenshi was guessing. Kuei Niu, I am determined to win. Lin Banyang's eyes were filled with ecstasy, and he took a direct step forward, striding forward. Kuei Niu belongs to me. Wang Jiyun also stepped forward, with a cold and stern light in his eyes. For Kuei Niu, even if he fights Lin Banyang desperately now, it is still worth it. Everyone hurriedly followed, wanting to see what the legendary Kuei Niu was like. As they approached, the intermittent cow sounds became clearer. Vomit. Ahem. Listening to this voice, everyone was a little confused. Why do I feel like a human being? What do you know? That's what Kuei Niu should be called. That's right, do people ruminate? In the eyes of everyone, a huge boulder appeared in front of the heavy fog, and the sound came clearly from behind the boulder. At this moment, everyone was nervous. They were all looking forward to it. Kuei Niu is hiding behind this huge rock. Lin Banyang and Wang Jiyun both approached lightly, and then, one to the left and the other to the right, they suddenly crossed the boulder and surrounded him. Then, the two of them suddenly became stunned. The two god emperors both looked suspicious of life at this moment. Seeing the hesitation of the two god emperors, Lin Lanchen, Wang Xiantian, Shuler Haju and others also hurried over to see Kuei Niu's true appearance. Then, the next moment they were all stunned. At this moment, the faces of the god emperor, Emperor, Venerable, everyone seemed to have turned to stone. Because, behind the boulder, there are no cows at all. Instead, it was a big black dog, standing upright and patting a fat man on the back. Then the fat man vomited violently. Vomited stuff. And the so-called sacred cow's cud. I can't say they are similar, I can only say, they are exactly the same. At this moment, everyone was shocked, completely shocked. Fear, trembling, many powerful people are more terrifying when they see the scene than when they see a ghost. What he vomited is. Is it rumination? Regurgitate the cud, this is vomit, not rumination. For a moment, every strong man's body started to tremble. They felt their throats were itching, as if they could no longer suppress it. At this moment, Wu Dade finally vomited up with the help of the big black dog. He said with difficulty. Damn, you damn bitch, you forced me to eat grass all the way, and made me vomit all the way. I'm so exhausted, I really want to cook you. He looked weak and resentful. And everyone who was in shock heard Wu Dade's words. Simply. What a bolt from the blue. Good night. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 708. Warm reminder, I'm too lazy to remind you, you all understand. At this moment, everyone was staring at the person and dog in front of them. Listening to what the fat man said just now. At this moment, they were all defeated. Completely easy. No. What we eat, What we eat is his. Lin Lanfan trembled, completely trembled. He backed away with a look of horror on his face. Damn it, what a bullshit rumination fetish, it's just the vomit of this damn fat man. Wang Xiantian cursed with grief and anger. He thought about how he had just treated that thing as a sacred object and smashed it repeatedly. Vomit. He immediately vomited and squirted. As soon as he vomited, everyone in the venue couldn't help it anymore and started vomiting. Ugh, maid, Lin Lanshan, have been famous all my life, but today, I actually ate this fat man's food, ugh. Lin Lanshan vomited until his lungs almost came out. I want to cry, really. What evil have I done to deserve this kind of suffering, ugh. While Wang Xiantian was vomiting, tears started to fall down. Cao Nima, damn fat guy, you're humming pretending to be Kuei Niu, you're not a human being. Ugh. Luo Changtian, the king of medicine, vomited and cursed at the same time, and the scolding was heartbreaking. My reputation as the Poison King has been ruined in the hands of you, a fat man, I'm going to kill you. The Poison King is even more crazy. Not only them, but even the two god emperors are holding back at this moment, holding back. I can't help it anymore, poof. Lin Baniang shouted loudly and sprayed out, spraying out all the way, it was very spectacular. My Wang Jiyun, the god emperor in this world, was invincible, but today, I was defeated by a fat man like you. Wang Jiyun's face turned green. Seeing Lin Baniang vomiting at this moment, he couldn't hold it any longer. He squatted down and started vomiting heartily. Ugh, ugh. At this moment, all the experts in the field were vomiting. The scene was very spectacular. And those cultivators who had never eaten the ruminant divine food because of their insufficient status were also dumbfounded at this moment. This must be recorded in the annals of history. The two great god emperors and many Yati venerables ate from the same person. This damn fat man is really amazing. The Taoist heart of so many strong people is probably destroyed. This will be a shadow for their lives. How did this damn fat man come up with such a destructive method of pretending to be Kuei Niu? It's unprecedented and unprecedented. It's such a loss. Fortunately, my ancestor was ruthless and didn't give me food just now. It was so dangerous. They spoke one after another, all with complicated expressions. This scene was simply the most spectacular sight they had ever seen in their lives. Xuanhuan was even more depressed at this moment. He wanted to cry. Damn, he was very happy before. After all, he took a bite while testing the poison and felt that he had made a profit. He made a huge profit. He didn't expect such a result. My life, Xuanhuan, is so miserable. He was cruel and gave it all. I won't vomit, isn't it just disgusting? It's disgusting, but it won't kill anyone. He held it in, held it in, held it in. Seeing how tolerant he was, everyone around him couldn't help but give a thumbs up. He can endure what ordinary people cannot endure. This child will definitely become a great weapon. What happened to these people? At this moment, Wu Dade, who had finished vomiting, looked up and saw the group of people around him, looking confused. What is this for? Could it be that he just vomited and the vomiting was so disgusting that he made them sick to the point of vomiting? The big black dog is also confused and doesn't quite understand these people. At this moment, Medicine King Luo Changtian had taken the lead in recovering. He was almost exhausted from vomiting. He pointed at Wu Dade and said, You are not human. Actually, you are so disgusting to me, you are so damn bad. He hates it. When Wu Dade heard this, he was angry. I just vomited for a while, how could it be so bad? These people are filthy and innocent. Why am I so bad? About vomiting, can you say it's bad? Fatty, I'm helpless too. He spoke angrily. You pretended to be Kuei Niu, and used such vicious tactics to harm us. You are not only bad, you are simply born evil and inhumane. The Poison King scolded, poisonous snakes are not as poisonous as you, yuck. When Wu Dade heard this, he became even more furious. Just now, the dead dog said that he was like a cow and said that he was a cow's great virtue. The score has not yet been settled. Now this group of people are actually calling themselves cows and saying that they are more venomous than snakes. It's too much, it's too much. On the contrary, the big black dog seemed to understand something as he listened. There was a hint of shock in the dog's eyes and he said, "You guys, you treat this emperor's pet as a Kuei cow. That human pet's vomit, are you taking it to be the Kuei cow's ruminant?" As soon as the statement came out, it hit everyone's pain point. I think this dog is also involved. This dog is the most evil. Lin Lanchen cursed angrily. The two god emperors were almost vomiting at this moment, but when they heard the big black dog's words, they almost vomited again. "Tisk tisk, human pet, come here, I will show you something fun." But the big black dog's eyes suddenly became strangely excited, and then he raised his paw. It is using its great supernatural power to recall the scenes of these people's previous experiences. I saw a big curtain appearing in the sky, and on the big curtain, there were scenes like this. Lin Baniang, Wang Jiyun, Poison King, and Yao King, masters of various races, etc. were walking on the path among the green grass, happily and full of expectations, and then they encountered a lump. They eat it with joy and excitement. Seeing this scene, Wu Dade was immediately shocked. Damn, the thing I vomited was actually vomit. Wu Dade couldn't stand it anymore and was so disgusted that he retched again. And the god emperor, Ya emperor, etc. who had just finished vomiting, started again directly. They finally got over it, and now this embarrassing memory is brought back, they can even remember the smell. Vomit. The whole audience vomited again. Damn dog, you shut this thing down for me, yuck, disgusting. Wu Dade couldn't vomit anymore, so he spoke to the big black dog. The big black dog looked at the scene in front of him with admiration. The dog's eyes were full of pride. It waved its paws and withdrew its magic power, and the scene disappeared immediately. Human Chong, this move of yours is on par with this emperor's great supernatural power that reaches all over the world, you are worthy of being raised by me. The big black dog was very satisfied and said in an authentic voice. Every master must have his favor. But Wu Dade quit. He was immediately angry. The big black dog's great supernatural power, damn it, that's peeing everywhere. Can this be compared? Damn dog, I have to kill you. Wu Dade spoke bitterly. At this moment, everyone had also vomited. You evil dog, you damn fat guy, you have evil intentions and are trying to destroy my deist heart. At this moment, Lin Baniang stabilized himself. He raised his eyes with anger in his eyes and said, "This emperor wants to crush you all into ashes." His murderous intent boiled, and with his murderous intent, the surrounding fog trembled. Peel off the skin and use it to refine your soul. If I don't let you taste all the suffering in the world, I will pretend to be the God Emperor. Wang Jiyun wiped the dirt from the corner of his mouth, his face extremely gloomy. Other yati, venerables, etc. have also reacted and looked at Wu Dade and Big Black Dog with hatred. Feeling the murderous intention of everyone, Wu Dade said, "You are really a bunch of white-eyed wolves. You eat the fat man's food and drink the fat man's food. After you have eaten and drank enough, you start to murder the fat man. The world is deteriorating, and people's hearts are not as old as they used to be." Hearing this, everyone was even more furious. Damn it, this fat guy is so evil. He clearly made a group of powerful people suffer great humiliation, and now it's like he is the one who suffered the biggest loss. Die! Lin Baniang shouted loudly, the fog and storm surged, and the whole place was trembling. Unparalleled murderous intent descended on Wu Date and the big black dog. Gray mist level cultivation is clearly evident. Wu Date suddenly panicked and ran behind the big black dog. The big black dog, on the other hand, raised its paw and suddenly disappeared from the spot. It ran away. Chase. We must not let this man and the dog escape. Kill them. Everyone shouted and chased forward. And at this moment, a mile or two ahead, Yun 11, Subakian, and Hu Xiaochan had already appeared in front of a set of stone steps. The fog was thick and it was unclear where the stone steps led. It seems like the end of the universe, like the edge of the world. What is this place? Yun 11 was a little confused. The door to another world, the source of disaster. Hu Xiaocan's eyes became frightened, and she said, Sister Yungzi, Sister Baiqian, we can't get close, here, there is a disaster sealed here. She remembered the legend her grandma once told. Deep in the fog, the stone steps stand alone, the door to the illusion, never-ending disaster. But Subakian, thoughtfully, shook his head and said, No. I have to go. With that said, she stood on the first step. That's this moment. In this area, the endless fog suddenly began to disperse. I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know where it disappears. These heavy fogs disappear out of thin air. The surrounding scenes were all revealed immediately. Looking up, there is a stone door at the end of the stone steps. The stone gate seems to be connected to another world. Finally caught up. At this moment, Wu Date and Big Black Dog had also landed beside them. Seeing the changes in the surrounding scene, everyone was a little surprised. The Big Black Dog raised its eyes and saw the door. The dog's eyes were even more stunned. It murmured, A broken and lost place, could it be because of it? At the same time, many forces from the rear, including the Lin family and the Wang family, have also arrived. They are also extremely surprised at this moment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Gui Xian. Chapter 709. What happened? Why is the fog around me gone? What kind of door is this? It's just a door, but it actually makes me feel like I don't dare to look directly. At this moment, even the people who were chasing Wu Date and Big Black Dog were a little shocked and looked at the door in front of them. That door must be a place of opportunity. At this moment, Lin Baniang's eyes were so solemn that even the Big Black Dog and Wu Date forgot to stare at the door. He felt a breath that transcended the earthly world. This feeling is like a small fish rising out of the pond and seeing the vast ocean. Wang Yang is behind this door. The opportunity beyond Shinto should be this door. Wang Jiyun is also very hot. Luo Jianzhu, Wang Xiantian, Lin Lanchen, etc. were also shocked. And at this moment, in the dark, the secret room that no one knows, a middle-aged man with a mustache couldn't help but smile when he saw the situation on the field. Very good, everything that should come has come. The Emperor's plan has come true. He is full of expectations, waiting for these people to join forces to open the door, and he will harvest the fruits of victory. Beside him, Ao Wushuan was looking straight at the dog in the crowd. The big black dog, the fat man, and the two somewhat familiar girls. Everything that should come has come, but what shouldn't have come has come. He couldn't help but murmured, and broke into a cold sweat. At this moment, he directly doubted his life. Oh shit! I, Lao Ao, have fled to a place like this. How can I be caught up in a small mountain village? He really doubted whether he had been cursed by the small mountain village. From the Defa Star Realm to the Cauldron Star Realm, from the Cauldron Star Realm to the ancestral land of the Six-Eared Macaque clan, then to the Yang Realm, and then to places like the Sacred Beast Mountain. Can't escape this? I'm afraid there's no place to hide in this world. At this moment, all he wanted to do was retreat and slip away quietly. Before the steps, when everyone stopped, Subakian had already stepped onto the second step. There seemed to be some kind of sound behind the door, like a heartbeat. This heartbeat sound was so shocking that everyone felt as if there was a supreme eternal beast sleeping behind the door. "Stop for me!" Lin Baniang immediately shouted, and he waved out his palm to kill Subakian. That door definitely contains huge opportunities, and no one else is allowed to get involved. Subakian was unable to resist the Grey Mist God Emperor level attack. The big black dog had already raised its paw, making Subakian disappear from the steps. Lin Baniang's palm hit the stone steps, but he saw that the stone steps did not move at all and were not damaged at all. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. A palm of the Grey Mist God Emperor level couldn't destroy a stone step? The material of this stone step has probably surpassed all the divine gold in the world. What a treasure! Wang Jiyun also stepped forward. He stared at the door more and more eagerly. How to divide this place? Lin Baniang glanced at Wang Jiyun indifferently. Wang Jiyun's eyes flashed with murderous intent, but he took a deep breath and said, "Open this door first. If the opportunity is enough, you and I will share it equally. If there is only one share, let it be your fate." Lin Baniang nodded, but stretched out his hand and said, "Please." Wang Jiyun smiled and said, "Brother Lin, please go first." The two of them have their own hidden agendas, and they are both afraid of being attacked by the other side if they are in front. After all, we have now reached the land of opportunity and we have to guard against it. Lin Baniang's face darkened and he said, "You and I go side by side." Wang Jiyun then said, "Good." Immediately, the two walked up the stone steps side by side. The two of them walked up the stone steps, but layers of mist slowly appeared around them, and that heart-stirring heartbeat sound no longer sounded. Everyone was a little confused, and many people even looked at Subakian, Big Black Dog and his party on the side. Just when this girl walked up, the fog lifted, and there was a heartbeat from behind the door. Nothing, just a coincidence. Yes, two God Emperors are here. What can she, a little God King, do? Everyone was talking. As Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun walked up the steps step by step, the fog became thicker. There are 19 stone steps in total. When they reached the fifth step, Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun suddenly felt that some inexplicable hands were approaching them in the heavy fog around them. "What's xiao?" Lin Baniang shouted angrily, and the Grey Mist God Emperor's cultivation was released. A layer of grey mist also rose around Wang Jiyun. Both of them activated their strongest defense. However, as the two of them released the cultivation of the Grey Fog God Emperor and continued to move forward, they suddenly felt that there seemed to be a lot more things in the surrounding fog. It seems that there are invisible ghosts floating around. It seems like there is some ghost whispering. What? Lin Baniang suddenly lowered his head and struck his feet with a palm. However, there was nothing. Only the stone steps stood silently. "Who dares to sneak attack me?" Wang Jiyun also shouted, turned his head suddenly, and blasted a palm towards the back. However, only heavy fog was seen. "Brother Wang, do you feel like something cold and wet is grabbing your ankle?" Lin Baniang's face was covered with a thin layer of sweat. "No. Something cold is choking my neck." Wang Jiyun's face was gloomy, and there was even a hint of panic in his eyes. They are all the top figures in the world, the invincible God Emperor, and their cultivation levels are at full power at this moment. However, something is approaching without anyone noticing, and it can strangle their necks and grab their ankles. Both of them couldn't help but feel nervous. It should be an illusion. Lin Baniang swallowed a mouthful of saliva, forced himself to calm down, and said, "If you don't enter the tiger's den, you won't get the tiger's cubs." Brother Wang, you and I have to work together to get the opportunity. He is actually a little timid. Wang Jiyun also bit the bullet and said. As God Emperors, you and I are invincible in the world. This place is just an illusion, so what does it mean? The stronger the illusion, the stronger the opportunity hidden here. Walk. Both of them mustered up the courage to step onto the first level again. The sixth step. As soon as they settled down, both of them were suddenly startled. Because when they looked up, they saw two people kneeling on the steps in front of them. Those two people were like water ghosts, their bodies were wet and covered with blood, and they were extremely miserable. The two men slowly turned their heads. The faces of those two people were exactly the same as those of Lin Banyang and Wang Jiyun, but their faces were pale and bloodless, like ghosts who had been dead for many days. Quick! Retreat! The two men spoke mechanically, their voices hoarse. At this moment, Wang Jiyun and Lin Banyang were so frightened that their hearts almost jumped out of their throats. I don't believe it, I don't believe it. Wang Jiyun gritted his teeth and roared. What illusion can't possibly scare me? In front of the God Emperor, everything is false. He suddenly struck out with his palm and blasted away at the two stone ghosts. Seeing this, the dead corpse ghost Wang Jiyun suddenly showed a sad expression, and then raised his hand. The real Wang Jiyun's expression changed drastically. At this moment, he actually felt that the power of the corpse was stronger than his own. With a palm strike, he was blown away. Lin Banyang's expression changed drastically. What's going on? This is no illusion. He realized this, felt something, and suddenly looked forward, only to see that Lin Banyang had disappeared. The next moment, he suddenly let out a shrill scream. At his feet, the ghoul-like Lin Banyang had already secured his ankle before he knew it, and bit it down hard. Ah! Lin Banyang urinated and rolled down the stone steps. Beyond the stone steps. Everyone was very shocked at this moment. What's going on? Why did the God Emperor of our clan slap himself? Wang Xiantian was shocked. He clearly saw that when Wang Jiyun reached the sixth step, he raised his palm and slapped his chest hard. Holy shit, what's wrong with the God Emperor? He's actually holding his own ankle and chewing on it. Lin Lanfan and others were even more stunned. They saw Lin Banyang golden chicken independent, then put his right foot and hands to his mouth and took a big bite. Then, Lin Banyang could no longer maintain his balance and rolled down smoothly from the world. Everyone was shocked. What's going on? What happened to the two God Emperors? Can't even the God Emperor pass through these steps? While everyone was discussing, members of the Wang family and the Lin family hurriedly stepped forward and helped up their own God Emperor. God Emperor, why did you slap yourself? Wang Xiantian asked Wang Jiyun. Wang Jiyun was in panic at the moment. Hearing Wang Xuanhuan's words, he was immediately shocked and said. You saw, I slapped myself. Wang Xiantian nodded. Wang Jiyun immediately raised his eyes and looked forward, his eyes pale with horror, and said. This is still an illusion. So strong. And the other side? Lin Lanfan helped Lin Banyang up and asked tentative questions. Ancestor, did you have athlete's foot just now? Lin Banyang was still in shock and said. What athlete's foot? Lin Lanfan said. God Emperor, you just chewed on your own feet. Hearing this, Lin Banyang was immediately stunned. He chewed it? Could it be that what I experienced just now was still? He murmured, and unknowingly, he had entered an illusion without knowing it. Terrible. Ancestor, do you want someone to nibble on you? Are your feet still itchy? Lin Lanfan, on the other hand, asked considerately. When Lin Banyang heard this, he immediately became angry and said. Idiot, you have athlete's foot and chew it with your mouth? Get out of here. Lin Lanfan left without hesitation. At the same time, there seemed to be a trace of doubt in his eyes as he said, "No need. Are these two people crazy?" On the other side, Wu Dade was also puzzled when he saw this scene. There is something very wrong. One of them raises his hand to kill himself, and the other bites his own feet. Humph, you don't overestimate your capabilities, Sister Fox. No, who can touch Sister Fox's territory? It's a pity, these two ants are too weak. They can't hold on until they reach the 6th level, and there is no good show. Woolen cloth. The big black dog was even more sarcastic and disdainful. Even somewhere, it's top secret. Damn, are these two guys crazy? God Emperor Shuler Hokai looked puzzled. I had a good time with Ao Wushuan, but why did these two guys have so much trouble? He also mutilated himself, he looked like a mentally retarded person. He is very sad. Behind him, Ao Wushuan was also very worried. He had been nervous and waiting for an opportunity. This time, if he is not careful, he may fall into the hands of the big black dog. He silently warned himself to be cautious, step by step, seize the opportunity, and hit with one hit. Brother Lin. At this time, under the stairs, Lin Lanfan had already stood up and said, "There's something weird here." Lin Banyang also stood up and nodded, feeling that his feet still hurt a little, thinking that he was chewing them really hard. "That's right, it might be difficult for you and me to pass." Wang Jiyun nodded, and as he spoke, he suddenly pointed at Subakian on the other side and said, "When she was on the steps just now, it seemed like the fog had lifted. Let her try again." His face is gloomy. Lin Banyang also nodded, immediately looked at Subakian and said, "Little girl, go and walk again. Let's say something else before good night, some random thoughts. As of today, the book Fantasy, I'm Really Not an Unparalleled Master has finally exceeded the 2 million word mark. 200,0537 words. There are 708 chapters in total, with an average of 2,826 words per chapter. Since the first chapter was uploaded on October 27, 2020, it has lasted 285 days, with an average of 7,019 words updated every day. At this point, I was actually very tired from writing and had lost the original passion and sense of creativity. It was quite tiring. In fact, it is quite difficult to write. There are many fantasy novels of this type, but when the number of words reaches 2 million, the story still does not collapse. Maybe there are a few, maybe not. As of today, I can proudly say that there are many books on this subject, but the content and story of this book are unique. Within this theme, Goi has created many new techniques and new ways of expression. Forget it, I won't say more about narcissism. If I continue, readers all over the world will know that I am more handsome than Li Fan. Now that the story is half written, it must not be unfinished. I can tolerate people calling me short, but I cannot tolerate people calling me a eunuch or a bad dog. So, keep working hard and keep persisting. Just endure it. While I was going through it, I trimmed it, relaxed my mind, freed myself from fatigue, and then continued to create better plots. Having said all that, I just want to take a break recently, so if the updates are not enough, please forgive me. That's all. Thank you all for accompanying me all the way, and please feel free to ask for some rewards. Good night. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm Really Not an Unparalleled Expert. Author, Goi Xin. Chapter 710. After some testing just now, the two great god emperors left the scene in embarrassment. One raised his palms to cut himself, and the other raised his feet to gnaw wildly. There is some kind of illusion in this staircase, and even the God Emperor will fall into it without knowing it. Now they are all scared and dare not try it again. Therefore, their eyes all fell on Subakian. Just now, it was this girl who stepped up the steps, the fog cleared, and a heartbeat could be heard behind the door. Is she the key to unlocking this place? Subakian, on the other hand, was deep in thought for a moment. She has a delicate mind, and of course she can see that Lin Banyang and others just want to take advantage of her. But she thought about it and realized that it wasn't terrible. Then, she immediately took steps and walked up the steps. Take one step. The fog is thin. Take the second step. The fog dissipates. As Subakian walked up the steps, the mysterious fog covering this area completely disappeared. At this moment, everyone felt as if the clouds were beginning to clear, and their breathing became much smoother. The gloom brought by the heavy fog was gone. It's really about her. What is the origin of this girl? Could it be that she is the destined person in this secret place? Everyone was talking in surprise. Just now, the two God Emperors were unable to walk up, causing heavy fog to fill the sky, illusions appearing, and finally leaving in embarrassment. Now, a girl stepped forward calmly and made the fog dissipate. What does this mean? At the same time, behind the door, there was a sudden bang. This sound is majestic and powerful, melancholy and clear. Everyone felt as if they were standing in front of a huge heart, and the beating of the heart made their whole bodies almost resonate with it. The two God Emperors stared at the door with extremely nervous eyes. Haha, what a destined person, you are just a pawn. They stared at Subakian's back, with the same thoughts in their hearts. When Subakian opens this place, won't they decide all the opportunities? Subakian is just cannon fodder and will only make wedding clothes for them after all. Under everyone's gaze, Subakian walked up the 19 steps step by step. She stood on the 19 steps and looked at the stone door in front of her. The stone door is within reach. At this moment, Subakian suddenly felt inexplicably uneasy. It's like facing a piece of dusty history, like trying to uncover the truth of the years. The stone door seemed to sense her arrival and trembled slightly, as if waiting for her to push it open. Subai took a deep breath. Stretching out her slender hand, she placed it on the stone door and pushed it gently. Boom! The stone door opened in response. A dazzling white light came towards me. At this moment, Subakian closed her eyes subconsciously. This white light seems to stir up the cycle of time and stir up the ocean of cause and effect. Subakian felt as if she was in another space and time, as if someone was whispering, calling her. She opened her eyes and looked forward. It was a prosperous and blooming land, with two-leaf grass growing luxuriantly and blooming everywhere. The medicinal gas and poisonous gas rose into the sky, intertwined with each other, and formed a huge Tai Chi pattern in the sky. And among the flowers and plants, a girl dressed in plain linen flew past, flew from the sky, and landed in the center of the flowers and plants. In the center, there grows a most peculiar two-leaf grass, with two leaves on the same stem, one black and one white, and the leaves are shaped like calamus. Under the two-leaf clover, a little fox was lying down, sleeping soundly. That little fox is all white and very cute, and the most peculiar thing is, it actually has 9 tails. The girl in plain linen sat down and gently stroked the little fox. The little fox stretched out his tongue comfortably, licked the girl's hand, and then opened his eyes. The little fox had big eyes and quick eyes, and said, "Have you found any trace of that person?" Sumai Shaonang shook his head and said, "No. Everything related to him has disappeared during this time. Even the people who know his name are becoming fewer and fewer. Except for a few of us who still remember him, he seems to have been forgotten by the whole world." As she said that, there was a trace of sadness on the girl's face, and she murmured, "He left no backup plan, no worries, he was too determined to go on the road. From the beginning, he was going to die. The little fox also became nervous and said, "If he can't come back, what will happen to this catastrophe? Can we stop it?" The girl in plain linen was silent. She stroked the little fox's head and said, "He will come back. When he comes back, maybe we will no longer be afraid or worried, and the world will have real prosperity and peace." Her gentle tone contained a firm power. "When can he come back?" the little fox murmured. The girl in plain linen clothes said, "Perhaps after eternity, maybe after our demise. The only thing we can do is maybe leave a light for him, a light, to go home. Xiao-chan, I have to go." The girl gently stroked the little fox's head. The little fox seemed to feel something and tried its best to hold the girl's hand, but it fell asleep involuntarily. "Go to sleep, wake up from this sleep, take the fire with you to create a new pure land, abandon the ancestral world, and never come back." After she finished speaking, she stood up. The two-leaf clover flicked gently, seeming to be holding back the hem of her clothes. "The disaster has come. You have to retreat to save the fire, and we must go that way. That road, that one has been on it before, and something must have happened now to make the gray mist world so crazy." After she finished speaking, she stood up and left without stopping. Her figure gradually moved away until she disappeared. After a long time, the little fox woke up again. It searched in panic, with tears in its big and smart eyes, calling the girl's name. But after all, she could no longer find the girl. Only the two-leaf grass hung lightly, as if comforting her. "She's gone, Wu, I'm going to escort Tinder, and I want to listen to her." The little fox wiped his tears, stood up, and left this prosperous and blooming place with the two-leaf clover. The scene suddenly changed. A huge battle, filled with gray fog. The sky exploded, the earth collapsed, the stars were extinguished like lamps, and the strong were like ants. In the endless battle, strange creatures emerge one after another in the billowing gray fog. However, in a vast void, the sky is full of ominous gray fog but silent, and strange creatures gather but silent. In the middle of the vast void, under a two-leaf grass, a white fox danced with its tail. Following its guidance, the entire space and universe seemed to have turned into an illusion. Many gray fog powerhouses stepped into this space, obviously coming with monstrous murderous intent, but in the end they all got lost. There are mysterious creatures worshipping. There are creatures who commit suicide with their hands raised. There are creatures wailing. In the illusion, the black leaves of the two-leaf clover drooped gently, and invisible poisonous gas fell. These strange creatures enjoyed the food as much as possible, and then they all died. This is a silent massacre. Even though the gray fog is billowing into the sky and there are endless strange creatures, no one can mess around in this illusion. There are not even corpses left here. The poison dropped by the black leaves completely destroyed even the source of the gray mist. There are no bones left of those who were poisoned. This place has become the most bizarre killing place, and it can be called the bone-breaking field for the strong. In the end, this silent killing caused violent fluctuations in the vast space and time. Above this illusion, there seemed to be a gray fog space and time, and in that gray fog space and time, there was a powerful man roaring lowly. "One illusion and one grass can kill 3,000 geniuses in my world. If I don't take action, I'm afraid the entire gray mist world will be wiped out by you." The most powerful man took action across time and space and pointed out a finger. That finger pointed out that there seemed to be densely packed space-time fragments paving the way for the power of that finger to come here. The scene is extremely spectacular. In the deep void, the rules of time and space are like the coming of heaven, with infinite power, running through the ages and shattering the boundless void. It's as if time and space have built a riverbed, and the power of that finger is the wild current rushing from the riverbed. At this moment, Both White Fox and Two-Leaf Clover felt the monstrous energy fluctuations. The 9 tails of the White Fox come out and dance wildly, like a peacock's screen. The 2 blades of grass merged together and transformed into a poisonous palm. The visitor wasted time and space, and neither the illusion of the 9 tails nor the poison of the Two-Leaf Clover could affect the opponent, so he could only resist. A fox and a grass can resist this shocking move. Suddenly, with this finger, the 9 tails of the 9-tailed fox were severed, and blood flowed instantly. The 2 leaves of the 2-leaf grass withered and turned yellow, and the grass leaves immediately withered. The 9 tails is good at illusions, and the 2 leaves rely on poison, so their combat power is not at its peak. With just one finger, both the 9-tailed fox and 2-leaf clover were in a state of death. After one finger fell, the gray fog space and time slowly disappeared. At this moment, the grass is destroyed and the fox is dead. Guard the fire, guard the fire. On the verge of death, the 9-tailed white fox's big, smart eyes were lost, but there was a firm spirit that still supported it. No. The master asked me to protect the fire. I want to protect this place. Let me transform the last illusion. If the master does not return, the illusion will not be broken. The blood of the sky fox will cut off the galaxy. The white fox bleeds, burning its last remaining life, evolving into endless illusions in the vast galaxy. That illusion is like a patchwork of time and space, both real and illusory, withered and broken, as if it is an eternal and unreachable forbidden land. The white fox dies. And when the 9-tailed white fox was desperate, the withered 2-leaf grass also burned the last of its medicinal properties, saving a drop of the 9-tailed white fox's blood, allowing that drop of blood to fall into the world and reincarnate. Then, the fox and the grass died together. At this moment, Xuanhuan had tears in her eyes. She already fully understands. Once the past year was gone, all the white fox and sacred grass died in the battle. Now, she is back. At the same time, somewhere in the hidden void beyond the stone steps, a strange old man's eyes were filled with shock. Others cannot feel the fluctuations of the years, but he has a glimpse of it. So at this moment, he was extremely shocked. The broken and lost land is actually the illusion that the fox transformed into before his death. He came from the ancestral realm of chaos, through the so-called broken and lost land, and found this Fangyang realm. He knew very well how terrifying that broken and lost land was. Even though he was already on the road and could be called a Taoist ancestor, he almost had a narrow escape. Moreover, he always felt that he was able to come here because of the broken and lost land. He had undergone some kind of change and seemed to no longer be so repellent to the outside world. Otherwise, he felt that not many people would dare to set foot in the vast ancestral realm of chaos. And now, after peeking into this corner of the years, he felt a huge wave in his heart. What the hell, I finally know how far behind that dog and these young people are. That fox is also a truly supreme giant in the entire chaos ancestral realm. It is definitely a shocking creature from the pre-white mist era. At this moment, the strange old man was shocked. He did not expect that this little world would actually have a relationship with a giant like the 9-tailed sky fox. At the same time, a flash of greed flashed through his heart. If I could get the opportunity here, at least it will save 20 million years of struggle. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 711. The shadow of time comes suddenly. Countless people in the field stared at the door, their eyes blinded by the blinding white light. Only Xuanhuan, who was standing in front of the door, and Wu Dade, Yongzi, Dehegu, and Hu Xiaochan also resonated. They could also see the past that happened in that space and time. Before her death, Fox Sister created her last illusion and severed the connection between the Pure Land and the Chaos ancestral realm. The big black dog murmured. Its illusion is the great wall that protects this world. If Subakian doesn't come back, the illusion will not disappear. There was some loss in his dog eyes. Wow, maybe I shouldn't have left back then. If I had stayed, maybe everyone wouldn't have died so badly. It's a bit self-blaming. It turns out that this place is related to Bai Qian's sister from the previous life. Yun 11 also suddenly realized. And Hu Xiaochan suddenly felt something at this moment, her body was trembling slightly. Just now in that white light, she glimpsed another scene. The nine-tailed celestial fox stained the sky with blood, burned out its last life force, and turned into an illusion that cut off the galaxy and almost died. However, there was a drop of blood that was preserved by the two-leaf clover and fell on the sacred beast mountain. Their ancestors of the Silver Fox clan were once stained by that drop of blood, and that drop of blood has been reincarnated by the Silver Fox clan for countless generations until today. Hu Xiaochan felt that the blood in her body was almost boiling. She seemed to understand everything. The reincarnation of fate, the call of duty. She suddenly smiled happily, walked up the steps, and then turned into a drop of blood in the white light. The drop of blood floated on Subakian's palm. Cold tears fell down Subakian's cheeks. She lowered her head and looked at the drop of blood in her hand. Then, she walked into the stone door. When I walked into it, I saw that the door was empty, with nothing else but a fox turned into a stone statue and two withered yellow blades of grass. The fox stone statue seems to be connected to thousands of worlds. With a casual glance, Subakian could see the jumble of lights and shadows in those worlds. Those vast and complex worlds are the final illusion transformed by the white fox. She saw a giant bronze door standing at the back of the illusion, and a big black dog swimming behind the door. She saw some emperors returning from the illusion, bearing the marks of their eyes. She also saw that somewhere in the distant illusion, some cultivators exuding the aura of chaos were digging graves in the illusion, unaware that even those graves were just illusions. Subakian's gaze slowly retracted and fell on the white fox stone statue. I'm back. You'll be back too, right? Subakian slowly walked to the white fox stone statue and gently stroked the stone statue. In her palm, the drop of blood transformed by Hu Xiaochan fell on the stone statue. At this moment, the stone statue seemed to feel something. The layers of stone skin were slowly cracking. At the same time, the endless illusion created by the stone statue slowly disappeared at this moment. The broken and lost place seems to be in a doomsday. Large tracts of time and space suddenly disappeared, leaving only the cold and vast dark void. What happened? Somewhere in the void, several Shinto emperors who were heading towards the underworld were all shocked. The broken and lost place, the ups and downs of eternal time and space, actually disappeared. Emperor Samsara looked horrified. Don't those times and spaces exist, are they just illusions? The heavenly master Daezu God Emperor was shocked and said, could it be that the hundreds of thousands of years we have been lost here have just been lost in the illusion? The demon emperor was shocked and said, how is it possible? The broken and lost land is a Jedi that has been sealed off from the world for eternity. What kind of existence can create such an illusion? They don't know. However, around them, the chaotic time and space that were once extremely real, and which they regarded as thunder pools that they dared not go beyond, have now disappeared. They looked around blankly, in endless darkness. And far ahead, there seems to be a world, as small as sand and dust. We actually saw the underworld directly. The demon emperor murmured, and they all recognized that that world should be the Yangjian. It seems that the broken and lost land, is really just an illusion, which isolates the underworld from the outside world, preventing people in the underworld from leaving, and preventing people from outside from entering the underworld. The heavenly master, Daezu and God Emperor spoke. He turned back, looked in the other direction opposite to Yangjian, and said, there seems to be a vaster world. Sacred Beast Mountain, in the secret place, inside the door. As that drop of blood seeped into the white fox stone statue, the white fox stone statue suddenly cracked. And the endless illusion that existed because of the white fox stone statue has also disappeared. If the master does not return, the illusion will not be broken. The blood of the sky fox will cut off the galaxy. Subakian murmured, she understood the reason for all these changes. The nine-tailed sky fox has been waiting until death, waiting for Subakian's return, and when Subakian returns, it also means that in the downstream years, all situations have been reversed. The illusion used to guard against enemies and protect the underworld no longer has any need to exist and will disappear automatically. I'm back, the illusion has disappeared, it's time to come back. Following Subakian's words, the stone statue seemed to feel something, and it all shattered with a pop sound. Among them, a snow-white fox cub was sleeping soundly. It opened its eyes, and its smart eyes were a little confused, as if it had forgotten everything. Subakian knew that this was the rebirth of that drop of blood. After thousands of lives, the nine-tailed white fox, like Subakian, had long lost the memory of its previous life. However, Baihu was very close to Subakian, and stood up and snuggled into Subakian's arms. Awoo! The little fox made a low cry, extremely affectionate, and rubbed against Subakian, looking careless. Even though they meet again after endless years apart, they are still as close as before. Subakian touched the little fox's head, her eyes filled with mixed feelings and extremely loving. Then, she looked at the withered grass blades on one side. Two withered yellow leaves, each about the size of a palm, with distinct veins. Even though they are withered, they still carry some unimaginable aura. She stretched out her hand to pick up the yellow leaves. At this moment, a loud shout came from behind. Stop! God Emperor Lin Baniang and others finally reacted. They saw the scene behind the door, and they were all very anxious at the moment. This place is most likely related to the legendary 10 gods and spirits. That stone statue is most likely one of the 10 spirits. Wang Jiyun's eyes were filled with greed and he shouted. That fox, that medicinal herb, I am determined to get it. He rushed directly up the steps to the door. At this moment, the door of illusion has been opened. All the illusions left by the nine-tailed white fox in the previous life have disappeared because of the appearance of Subakian. Therefore, the illusion of the stone steps has become invalid. They can rush in. Lin Baniang didn't give in too much and arrived almost at the same time as Lin Baniang. The two of them were about to enter, but they felt the sound of wind passing by their ears. A figure had already entered the stone door before them. That's Shuler Haki. Dare you? Stop! Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun both roared. And that figure had already stood inside the door, with a look of ecstasy in his eyes as he said. Haha, all opportunities belong to me, Shuler Hokai. This person is none other than the God Emperor of the Gold-Eating Rat clan, Shuler Hokai. Lin Baniang and Wang Jiyun were both shocked. In this world, there is actually a third God Emperor besides them. They are all old foxes, and when they see this scene, they completely understand it. All of this has been a conspiracy from the beginning. The king of beasts in the sacred beast mountain has long since become the God Emperor, but is unknown to the world. This time, they are used to come here to open the stone gate. Then, wait for the opportunity to snatch it. This Shuler Hokai has been hiding in the dark, waiting for this moment. Shuler Hokai smiled solemnly at Subai and said, Little girl, you can go die. He felt that he had already smelled the smell of victory, and he was about to kill Subakian as soon as he raised his palm. But, at this moment when his cultivation was released, suddenly, a thunderbolt descended from the sky, coming extremely quickly and accurately, and hit Shuler Hokai directly on the head. Shuler Hokai was immediately shocked. He looked up at the thunder and felt the smell of destruction. No. What's going on? He exclaimed, horrified. Then, Thunder struck from the sky, and Schuler Hokai suddenly let out a shrill scream. He was directly blasted out of his prototype and turned into a golden mouse as big as a suckling pig. At this moment, his soul was directly destroyed. At the same time, the source of the grey mist on its body was also chopped to pieces. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. How is this going? It was so strange that a grey mist god emperor was destroyed so suddenly and strangely. Everyone was shocked, and at the same time, they also felt great doubts. Good night.